No one said being a high priest was going to be easy. You've got a sun god to please, temples to construct, lands to expand, and a culture to define. It's hard work and time is short. So why do you do it? Victory points. Precious, precious victory points. And remain vigilant, because you're not the only high priest in the world of Helios. In the beginning of each of your turns, you'll select an action tile which will dictate what you can do. The first action is to create land. You collect the action tile, then select one of the available lands and the associated resource. You then add it to your existing land through magic or terraforming or something. If you manage to expand your lands into certain regions, you'll be rewarded with an extra resource or even some mana. You can also choose to move the sun. First, check your sun movement. Then, in a feat that would make Galileo roll around in his grave, move the sun that many spaces around your land. The sun illuminates temples for victory points and replenishes resources and empty lands, and every time it revolves around the world, you'll be rewarded with even more victory points. Another action that you can choose is to construct. Take a wooden building marker, and you can build a temple. Or, you can build one of the buildings in what I can only assume is your capital. After you've paid its cost, you'll be rewarded with a combination of victory points, increased sun movement, mana, and/or a special ability. These three deceptively simple actions work in concert to create something greater than the sum of its parts. Take the character tiles, for example. After every player takes 4 actions, they will have a chance to hire characters with mana. They don't really do much on their own, but they'll give you substantial endgame victory points if you manage to meet certain criteria. The Architect, for example, will give you victory points for every building you've constructed. They provide much needed direction in this sandbox game, and without them, you'd likely be overwhelmed with indecision. The player interaction in Helios is limited to passive-aggressive denial, which involves taking character tiles, resources, and action tiles before your opponents, and action tiles in particular are vital. You may have noticed that the action tiles come in different colors. If you manage to collect 4 of the same colored action tile, you get to immediately take another action. Matching colors may not sound exciting on the surface, but in a game where you only prescribe 16 total actions, it manages to feel like a monumental achievement. Helios has some pretty big flaws working against it. It has no thematic hooks to inform or motivate the player. Player interaction is a sideshow at best, and the relatively few elements of random setup could hamper its replayability. And yet, I like it. I like it a lot. I can't help but be intrigued by its puzzle. Seeing its interconnected parts work together like an intricate machine gives me a great satisfaction. And at the end of the game, I've made something. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm proud of it, and I had a great time doing it.